Today I'm sharing easy thrift flip ideas to create 5 friendly ghost DIYs perfect for Halloween decor that's budget friendly and fun. Welcome to the Chic Show. For this first little ghost, I'm using some DOS air dry clay. I'm warming it up in my hands by massaging it a little bit, and then I will roll it out into the size that I would think is appropriate. Once I have the size that I want, I'm just taking a knife and making a rough circle. It doesn't have to be perfect. I have made a makeshift mold here with just a round wood cylinder piece of wood that I had and a foam ball cut in half and then some saran wrap on top of that so that my clay won't stick. I'm just trying to mold the head of the ghost first, and then I will work on the sides to get them the way that I want. Just using a little tool to make some eyes so I know exactly where I want them, and I'll have something to go by when I go back to paint them, which I forgot to show you, but I'm sure that you can figure that out. And I just set him on top of a little candle holder, and I think he's adorable. I used resin in a mold that I found at Walmart on clearance last year and poured this little ghost. I just didn't pour him very thick. And then I gave him a coat of white chalk paint and I painted his eyes black. Now I have this little wood piece at the top here that was off another sign from Dollar Tree, and I painted it with black chalk paint as well. And this is one of IOD's stamps called Kindest Regards, and I've stamped up this section that I want to stamp on the back of this sign part with white ink. And I'm just going to rub that so that it transfers over to that black piece. I had a random little bow that I had used in a mold with some clay, and I'm just going to give that a coat of some pink paint, and we're going to add that to our cute little ghost. I'm just working on my placement here, so where I want the ghost to be and where I want the bow to be, and am I going to add anything extra? Use Titebond Quick and Thick to attach the bow to my ghost. And then I decided to go ahead and add some other embellishments to this piece. I chose these pink roses from one of IOD's rub-on transfers, and I think it should complement this little ghost girl perfectly. And now I'm ready to glue on my ghost. So again, I'll use that Titebond Quick and Thick. This is a very simple idea with those round doilies you may have laying around, or even square ones. I've used a couple of round ones and one square one. And I'm just using some googly eyes and placing them on the doilies to make these cute little ghosts. Put a golf ball in the top of a candle holder and draped the doilies over them. My husband is an avid golfer, so we have golf balls aplenty. Found these oval pieces at a thrift store and I cut them as shown here. I believe these were originally from Dollar Tree. I have 3 different sizes and I'm going to be painting them all with Waverly chalk paint and plaster. Now that they are painted and dry, I made a little template so that I could draw some eyes on my little ghosts. I wanted all the eyes to be the same size. Now I'm going back with a black paint marker and coloring in the eyes. The paint marker did a great job at giving me a guide, but it didn't really cover as well as I wanted. So I went back with a small brush and some Waverly chalk paint in ink. I just don't trust myself to do this completely with a brush. That's why I drew the eyes on first. I'm going to be gluing these ghosts together as shown here, but that little guy, he needs something in the back to help support him. So I just cut down a couple of popsicle sticks, glued them together, and I'm going to glue them in place right here with Titebond Quick and Thick. I used my finger sander to sand around the edges and over the top a little bit just to kind of give them more of a rustic look, and also it kind of gives them an outline as well. Once I have them sanded, they're ready to be glued together. So I'm going to add the medium-sized ghost on first, and then I will add the smaller guy. I am trying to be careful to make sure the glue is just on the part of the wood that's going to attach to the other piece. I do want to make sure that these are completely flat on the bottom so that it will stand up correctly. So I'm doing that while the glue is still wet. And then I'm going to use my clips here to clip them together while they dry. I then used my apothecary stamps just to stamp on the word boo. I poured resin into one of Dollar Tree's silicone molds. It has 4 different Halloween characters in it. And then I used some of the DIY patina paint, which you paint on and then spray it with a patina spray, and it will rust it overnight. Now I'm going back and I am just dry brushing on a coat of white chalk paint by Waverly. This is a scrap piece of wood that I have, so it's cut into the size of a block, and I had already stained it with a dark stain, but I'm painting over it with Waverly chalk paint in ink. I'm placing my ghost down onto the block so that I can get my placement for the word boo, and I'm using just some very small stamps that I had on hand, and now I'll use Titebond Quick and Thick to glue that ghost to the front of the block. Made a whole set of these. These other 2 you may have seen in previous videos. I hope you enjoyed these easy thrift flip ideas for making 5 friendly ghosts to brighten up your Halloween decor. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join me for more spooky fun DIYs. Thanks so much for watching. Remember to share the chic. Bye now.